I am Ricardo, and this is my testimony, presented in my own voice and translated from Portuguese to English. My name is Ricardo. I'm 23 years old, and I live in Villanova de Milfontes, a small town on the coast of Portugal. I work at a local supermarket. It's a quiet life now, a simple one, but my story didn't start here, and it definitely wasn't quiet. I was born and raised in Lisbon, in the Baixachiado area. That was home. I lived there with my mother when I was young. Life was never easy, but I didn't really understand that at the time. I was just a kid. What I remember most from those early years was that feeling of something always being a little off, like we were always on the edge of something breaking. When I was 5, I had surgery on my foot. They thought it might be cancerous, and I remember being scared but not really understanding what was going on. While I was still recovering, my mother, she left. She fled to France. One day she was there, and the next, she was gone. No explanation, no goodbye, just silence. After that, it was just me and my dad. He tried his best, but it was hard. He didn't have a job and lived off unemployment benefits. We barely scraped by. We weren't homeless, but we were definitely poor. There were nights we didn't eat much, days we went without. But God sent people, friends of my dad's, who later became like family to me. They helped us. They'd bring over groceries, or they'd call and say, "Come eat with us." Those little acts of kindness kept us going. School in the beginning was okay. I actually loved it. I was a good student, got top grades, won awards, made friends. I was proud of that. But when I got to middle school, something shifted. Suddenly, I was different. I became a target. From the 5th year all the way to the beginning of 8th grade, I was bullied relentlessly. Not just teased, bullied. Older kids would chase me, hit me, steal my things. I remember once being shoved into a trash bin like I didn't matter. I still remember the smell, the shame. I never told anyone. I was too scared. The people who bullied me, threatened me, told me that if I said anything, it would only get worse. So I stayed quiet. I held it all in. On the outside, I went to class, smiled when I had to, but inside I was breaking. Then, everything collapsed. December 11th, 2014. I was 13. It was around 3 a.m. I woke up to noise. Something wasn't right. I found my dad in distress. He was in pain, barely conscious. I tried to help him. Called 112. I called one of his friends, begged for help. But by the time the ambulance came and took him to San Jose Hospital, it was too late. He died of a brain aneurysm. I held him as he died. I was just a kid, and I watched my whole world disappear in a moment. After that, it felt like my soul left my body. The bullying at school didn't stop. It got worse. People said the cruelest things. One boy told me, "You should have died with him." Another said, "Now you're nothing." I believed them. I stopped eating, stopped sleeping. I stopped feeling anything at all. I walked through my days like a ghost. Eventually, I was sent to live with my grandmother, my dad's mother, in Villanova de Milfontes. It was a completely different world. Slower, quieter. At first I was terrified. I didn't know anyone. I was sure things would just repeat. More bullying, more pain. But I was wrong. My new classmates, they were kind. They didn't push me away or make fun of me. They invited me in, talked to me, laughed with me. For the first time in a long time, I felt safe. My school psychologist became someone I could trust. I didn't open up all at once. It took time. But little by little, I started to share. Some days I'd completely shut down, go hours without saying a word. But she never gave up on me. That mattered more than I can explain. One day, a woman from the community invited me to this youth activity. She said it was a guitar group. I liked music, so I went. Turned out it was at a church. I didn't expect that. They talked about Jesus, about faith, about hope. It all felt strange to me at first, but something about it was comforting. Later, that same woman invited me to a Sunday service. My grandmother came too. That first time I stepped into church, I didn't really know what to expect, but I felt peace there. I hadn't felt peace in years. Not long after, another tragedy hit. My grandfather, my grandmother's husband, who'd been like a second father to me, passed away. I couldn't understand it. I remember shouting at God, "Why him? Why not someone else? Why take the one who loved me, the one who stayed?" I didn't get an answer, but God stayed close. Even in my anger, He never left. As the years passed, I started finding some rhythm again. 9th and 10th grades were good. I had friends. I felt normal. I started to understand that healing isn't a straight line. It's a journey. And then in 2016, during a Sunday church service, I raised my hand and accepted Jesus as my Savior. That moment changed everything. I didn't have all the answers, but I knew I wasn't alone anymore. I got my first Bible, started reading, learning, praying. It wasn't always consistent. I'd fall off sometimes, but God was patient with me. Later, I started dating someone, my first serious relationship. She meant a lot to me, but over time that relationship pulled me away from church. We were too involved, too soon. Emotionally and physically, we were acting like a married couple, and I wasn't listening to God anymore. When she moved back to Lisbon, it broke me. I felt like I'd lost my way again. But even then, God never let go. One night, both my grandmother and I had this feeling. A pull, a conviction. We needed to go back to church. So we did. I got baptized soon after. That day, coming out of the water, I felt like the past was washed away, like I was really starting over. Then, there was more hurt. Someone at church deeply disrespected my grandmother. Out of love and solidarity, I stopped going too. But this time, I didn't walk away from God. We started reading the Bible at home, praying together. Our faith didn't die, it grew stronger. Eventually, a Brazilian pastor moved into our neighborhood. We became friends. He didn't push anything on us. He just lived his faith. And slowly, we started talking about life, about Jesus. That connection was healing in itself. Later, a new church opened in Odemira, and my grandmother started attending. It brought her joy, and seeing her light up again made me want to follow. I joined too. Not long after, I started helping lead worship. I never thought I'd be up front, leading others, but God made a way. In 2023, I was anointed as a deacon. That moment, I can't describe the feeling. It was like everything I had been through. All the pain, the loss, the silence wasn't wasted. God had been building something in me all along. There's still a lot I don't understand. I still carry pain. I still wrestle with questions. But I also know this. I'm not who I used to be. I'm living proof that God can take what's broken and make something beautiful out of it. He gave me purpose, He gave me peace, He gave me family when I had none, and He's not done with me yet.